Well, good morning, History 2145, and welcome to week 5. So, this week we're going to continue our trek forward as we have each week with kind of a new decade and a new topic. And so, as we focus on the 1960s here in week 5, certainly, right, there will be elements of importance that does carry over from last week with regards to the civil rights movement. And so, as you know, right, as we looked at the civil rights movement last week, we were really trying to assess, the roots of this movement, the key individuals within this movement, and really kind of expand the civil rights movement into other groups of individuals, other people of color, for example. So certainly expanding beyond the African American civil rights movement to the Native rights movement, to the Chicano movement, etc. And what you hopefully took away from that is this quest to push for equality under the law, right, has obviously importance during the Kennedy administration, as the administration, while looked back today as an administration that was strongly supportive of civil rights, maybe not so much, right, in the sense that it was often critical of the tactics employed by various organizations in the civil rights movement. And we also have to remember, right, as we are looking at the Kennedy administration, we are looking at an administration that is new, right? It's youthful, it's energetic, it's motivated by intellect, by science. John F. Kennedy and Jackie are seen as, quote, this Camelot in American culture. They're seen as the closest we can come to royalty here in the United States. And of any administration, television plays a significant role in maintaining that appearance of youthfulness, of vitality, of, quote, American royalty. And it's in this context that the Kennedy administration really has this idea that builds upon, the ideas of the New Deal and the administrations before, but in this case, right, Kennedy's calling for the new frontier, right? He's really hearkening back into history, as a student of history himself, really arguing that when the frontier closed in the 1890s, Frederick Jackson Turner talked about in his frontier thesis this concept of one of the things that makes America exceptional is this thirst, this quest, this desire to head into the frontier, to settle it, to transform it into civilization and modernity. And certainly here in the 1960s, right, Kennedy's New Frontier is absolutely about that. I mean, we're rooted in the Cold War. We are rooted in the space race, certainly, right, with his, famous uttering, we will reach the moon by the end of this decade. It's also about understanding, this new generation of young people, of teenagers and 20-somethings really taking advantage of this moment, their education, the prosperity, to go abroad and to be advocates of the American dream. It's, during the Kennedy administration that the idea of the Peace Corps is developed. The idea of USAID is developed, where America really takes on this new kind of stance where we are, becoming a humanitarian power. As one of those legs to the stool that is American foreign policy during the Cold War. So this week, as you read through chapter 29.1 and 29.2, you're going to again focus on that myth almost that's come around the Kennedy administration, which is certainly exacerbated by his death in November of 1963. And so this week you've got discussion 5, quiz 5, keep working on that study guide. And just another reminder, as you are working through your discussions this week and as you're going through my comments, right, it's of great importance, right, to remember that really what I am looking for in your discussions is for them not to be bullet points, not to be just one single paragraph, right? it is a minimum of 250 words because I need you to take the time to create these mini essays, right? Where you're making an argument that is utilizing the assigned readings, the additional videos to really take my question and expand on it in an in-depth way. This means, right, you're pursuing academic writing, right? You're making, strong, powerful transitions between paragraphs with powerful topics, sentences in that paragraph. This is not high school anymore, right? This is not the era of the 5-paragraph essay. This is the time to sharpen your skills as a historian and as a scholar. And then certainly, right, part of academic writing is to move beyond, right, dependency on transitional phrases like in conclusion and in summary. Your writing has more power when you don't use those crutches. Think of that concluding paragraph as the space to reaffirm your argument, to keep those key points and make that, that allusion to what comes next. With that said, though, I enjoy reading your discussions every week. And as always, reach out if you have any questions.